All right, happy Saturday afternoon, evening, everybody. Glad you're hanging out with us here in Raiderland World Headquarters. It is a combo show tonight. A little round ball rewind for Tech basketball, a little diamond talk for Texas Tech baseball, both of them in the win column today. We'll get your thoughts, your comments, questions, and everything else as we go through tonight. Tell you what we thought about the games today and just kind of sum up where we are on the weekend with one more game to go for Tech baseball tomorrow against Cal-Irvine, the Eaters of the Ants from Cal-Irvine. You know what to do. The early arrivals, give us thumbs up, hearts, whatever it else, like it. Let us know the audio is good, the video is good. Then share the dog out of it on Twitter, on X, on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and on Facebook Live. Same thing, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. And hopefully you guys are subscribed to everything. So let's get it going tonight. No need to waste time. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. Hey, you can check out our Saturday column, the column with no name. Three things we were thinking about today. Check it out at theraiderland.com. Maybe you missed our Friday column. And then tomorrow, get there bright and early for five things we know on a Sunday. This is Diamond Talk and Raiderland Rewind, a little round ball rewind, a little diamond talk, a little basketball. We might as well throw some football, softball, and everything else in there because everything is going on right now for Texas Tech. All the communications brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. There's probably a location near you. Great supporters of Texas Tech. Look for those ad specials. Go there tomorrow. I'm telling you guys, go there tomorrow. Go to the meat section. Go to the butcher shop area. And you'll probably be blown away by some of the stuff that's going to be on special this weekend. Also by Domino's Pizza, Domino's.com. Get the app, whether it's delivery, whether it is picking it up at the store or hotspot or anything else. You're going to save some money, get some great Domino's pizza in your body this weekend. And, of course, Boot City. One money saving a mile outside the West Loop on 19th Street, the official Western wear apparel for Raiderland. Where do we want to start tonight? You guys get the comments going in. Texas Tech basketball beats West Virginia 73-51. Sluggish start would be one way to call it. Maybe bad, maybe just nothing. The first 15 minutes of the game, you're just going, what the heck's going on? Then they drop the hammer. They finish strong. They get the easy victory. And they set up a massive Big 12 Monday matchup with Houston, 8 o'clock Monday night at United Supermarkets Arena. Over at Dan Law Field, Texas Tech, the Bats showed up today. We'll get into it in detail. Runners in scoring position, 2-out runs. You got a couple of bombs today launched by Red Raider hitters. It was everything you wanted to see. And the pitching, for the most part, was really pretty good. You have to give Cal-Irvine credit. These guys play that Cali ball really well. I think they only had 2, maybe 3 extra base hits today out of their 17. They put bat on ball. They spoil good pitches. They make you work. It's a great opponent. That's why they came in with and I am loath to use RPI in baseball until we're about 3 weeks into the season. But the teams they played, one of the better early RPIs that anybody has. This is what we've talked about, the schedule being better for Tech baseball, being more difficult and more challenging, and at the end of the day, much more rewarding when May and June roll around. So you guys, wherever you want to start, we can go with basketball first. We can go basketball first. We can get into baseball as we go along. Just fire your questions and comments in, thanks to United Supermarkets. With basketball today, no chance McMillan. He was in the boot, the dreaded boot, ruled out for today's game out of abundance of caution. Is there another kind of caution? Just a little bit of caution or an abundance of caution? It's like peril, great peril. Anyhow, that means that you've got Escalade Anderson. I can't call him Cadillac. Cadillac Anderson, great player, Phi Sigma Gamma, University of Houston 80s. So now today he'd have to be Escalade Anderson. He gets into the starting lineup today. He responds with a career-high 21 points. He had JT Toppin doing his thing. Just a boring 22-point day for him. And Texas Tech, again, did what they needed to do. Other than Anderson, you didn't shoot the 3 really well, but Texas Tech got to the rim. They did I thought they did a good job of adjusting as the game went on to how it was being played, what West Virginia wanted to do, how they were doing what they want to do. And West Virginia just has an ability to kind of ugly up a game, and I mean that as a compliment. And this could have been not a trap game. Good Lord, we all hate that term, right? They're all trap games. Let me tell you, being around coaches all my life, every game's a trap game. Every game has some aspect to it that you go, oh, this is that. I don't like this one right now. But coming off the loss at TCU, the fatigue, the wear and tear, the no McMillan, it could have been really easy for Texas Tech to not stretch it and get this thing going. That they scored 73 points after the first 15 minutes is really pretty amazing to me that they were able to get that done today. But they did. And it sets up a big game against Houston. What impressed you the most out of it? We talk about three-point shooting a lot. I think the sweet spot right now is 18 to 19 three-pointers taken a game. They weren't shooting it well. They go 9 of 22 3. But remember, 5 of 8 of that is by Anderson. If Christian Anderson doesn't do that, Hawkins is 2 of 5. D. Will is 0 of 2. Toppin 2 of 5. 0 of 1. Walton 0 of 1. Overton. Federico didn't take a 3. And you had a short bench today. Again, you were beat up, you were injured, and Grant McCaslin has been talking about need to utilize more of the bench. You really didn't have that opportunity today because it took into the second half before you could really stretch your legs. You did, however, defend really well. You rebounded, I would say adequately. Total rebounds 41 to 31. That's pretty good. There were plenty of missed shots to go around with West Virginia shooting 33%. Other numbers today, second chance points, 10 to 5, and you got outscored on the bench. No surprise, they had a deeper bench today, 16 to 12. Points in the paint, I like this number, 32 to 22. That again tells me that this team was getting to the rim, and you made more free throws than they shot. That is one of the biggest numbers you ever want to look for in a basketball game, particularly in the NCAA tournament. The big number is, can you make more than the other team shoots? And you do that by going to the rim. You will be rewarded if you go to the rim. And when Texas Tech gets too passive out there on the three-point line, I don't like it. This team goes 12 of 15. They're a pretty good free throw shooting team. 80%. 7 of 11 for West Virginia. So you get done what you needed to do. And as we mentioned, it's setting up a really important game for your seeding against Houston. So get your thoughts in, questions, comments. Texas Tech basketball, 21-6 now on the year. Nathan Geis today from the AJ tweeted out, I think, no worse if the season ended today. No, if they lost every game from here, they'd still get a first round bye, and they're not. I think the big question now is NCAA seeding. Can you get to the 3 line? You started today on the 4 line, probably one of the last teams on the 4 line. If you can beat Houston again, you've got a chance, I think, the rest of the way to play to a 3. We'll see. We'll see what happens from there. Fire away, questions, comments, thoughts. Texas Tech baseball, basketball today, combo rewind. I know a lot of people are wanting to talk about baseball. We'll do that as we go through here today. Jared is one of the first ones getting in today. Tech baseball today. As much as I like watching Tech on streaming during the week, I am liking that we don't have a bunch of midweek games at the beginning of the season. I'm sitting here looking at my big, 90-day dry erase calendar up there, and the white spaces there on some Tuesdays and Wednesdays doesn't bother me a whole lot. Now, the downside that the coaches would tell you is, like, you got Hutera today, who got up in the 9th inning in the 15-12 Texas Tech win because UC Irvine just kept putting the bat on the ball, and you had a couple of weird plays, so you thought maybe you're good. He hadn't pitched in a game yet. A guy you think is probably, if not your de facto closer, a guy that you don't mind having the ball in his hand in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, that we hadn't had that situation yet. So if you had maybe a Tuesday game, you might be able to utilize him, even in a little less high-stress situation. We'll see. Next up, they're going out there to Las Vegas. You got Illinois, Texas, and Washington. Illinois won the Big Ten last year. You know who Texas is. And Washington, a pretty decent team out of the what league are they in now? The ACC. They keep playing these ACC teams. Playing 2 ACC teams that couldn't be farther apart geographically. So, going back to Jared's point, the no Tuesday games, Yeah, no, I mean, right now, maybe, if you could, I don't know. I can argue it both ways, but I do think with the schedule so front loaded, so difficult early on, I like the idea that you don't have to stress out your pitching on Tuesday this week and Tuesday of last week going into these two series because you need everybody fresh. So we're going to say at least for the first 2 weeks of the season, I like what we're talking about here. You're watching Diamond Talk, Roundball Rewind, Texas Tech basketball beating West Virginia today. Get your thoughts, comments, everything else. Texas Tech softball winning today as well. So got that going for us. And then Texas Tech baseball. A lot of people worried about the bats. Bats are going to be just fine. The bats today did what they needed to do, I think, for the most part. I want to go look at some of the guys through the lineup today. Thompson leading off 2 of 5. He sets the table, gets on a couple of times, scores 2 runs. The only guy who didn't hit today was Damian Bravo. All right, that's fine. You get a little time off. Then you've got Robin Villeneuve going 3 for 4, 2 RBI. He gets a couple of walks. He scores 3 times. Logan Hughes gets his first home run, a couple of walks. He gets 4 RBI on the day. Dylan Maxey, 2 for 6. Tracer Lopez, 1 for 4, 2 runs scored with. Did he get hit by a pitch? I thought he got hit by a pitch. Did I dream that? No, Hughes got hit by the pitch. And then TJ Poppy hitting 444 on the year, 2 for 5 on the day. Johnson gets his first home run in a Red Raider uniform, and Ryan Coleman, or Coleman Ryan, pardon me, the guy who has 2 last names or first names or whatever it is, goes 2 for 3 down there. Crotchvelt, the Auburn transfer, gets the win. It was Perko to start today, and I think the only thing he had trouble in the third, was it second and third and fourth, 2 outs, making too many pitches. So he ends up throwing 82 pitches on the day, 53 for strikes, 3 walks. One of them was a 4-pitch walk, gets 3 strikeouts. But Crotchvelt gets the win in 2 2/3 of relief, and then Trendon Parrish gets the save, his first of the year. So all of that to get to the numbers that I think mattered the most today that we've been looking for, and that's runners in scoring position, 2 outs. What was Texas Tech doing situationally in hitting? Like 2 for 30, 3 for 30, some ridiculous number in the first 4 games. Well, today, completely different. 2-out hitting today by Texas Tech, 385, 15 of 39. No, that's overall. Pardon me. 2-out hitting was 9 of 17. I thought, that's a lot of outs. How could you have that many 2-out situations? 9 of 17, 529. 2 outs. Runners on, 11 of 24, 458. Runners in scoring position today, 412, 7 of 17. Runners on third, less than 2 outs. Big conversion number. And you were 4 of 5 in the advancement opportunity. That was Texas Tech, 17 of 27, 630 to 19 of 32, 594 for Cal-Irvine. All of those numbers are really good numbers. I've been trying to help some football guys and, some Texas Tech folks the last few games and saying, you're not playing, Munster High School here. You're not playing a directional team. You're not playing a team that has a hyphen in their name. You start off with the number 6 team in the nation. Then you come back and play another top 25 team. You're learning. Jared, not stressing a loss in a midweek is nice to start the year. Yeah, and Tech typically doesn't lose midweek games. Over the last 8 years, it's like a ridiculous non-conference record of 119 to like 12 or something like that. Lady Raiders fall again in another soul-crushing way. 62-61 at UCF. They hit a 3 to make it close. They held in there today, but again, just could not close it out. It's just been a horribly frustrating month of February, almost said November, for Krista Gerlich's squad. Softball today, winning 8-0. I would have thought that Kyle would know that, as we mentioned earlier. And then yesterday it was Kennedy getting her first home run and her first at bat at Texas Tech, and I believe pitching in the second game. And I don't have a final in their second game today in the Janine McCaney Classic going on there at Rocky Johnson Field. But yeah, Texas Tech, I think in the first game today, getting an 8-0 win. I think we saw that. They're going to be pretty salty. We kind of got a feeling. We had a feeling going in, proving it right now. I think what's interesting with Glasgow, and I want to go back all the way to that opening weekend. And I think he is really in tune with the idea that he does not want this team to be dependent on Nigeria. That he could have thrown her in that second game against Texas, and I was surprised he didn't, quite frankly. And that's why you pay $1 million. But I think he's really, here in February, adamant that this team understand that she can't do it all. She can't drive in every run. She can't pitch every inning. She can't do it, and trying to create a deeper expectation of the rest of the team. I think that's what we're seeing early on with Texas Tech softball. And thank goodness it was warmer today for both softball and everything else. All right, you guys can get in. We're going to hang out with you guys tonight as long as the conversation is good. Want to get in, do a little Roundball rewind, a little diamond talk, and Texas Tech baseball getting their first win of the season. Rumors of their demise greatly exaggerated. And for Tech, for men's basketball today, just, another good environment there at United Supermarkets Arena. And people say, well, if it's a sellout, where was everybody? Oh, they were over at softball. And they were over at baseball. They were, tickets sold do not reflect the number of people actually going to the game sometimes. So chill, relax. It'll be rocking. I assume they'll probably have just about every seat filled Monday night, 8 o'clock when Houston comes into town. And as we said, this is your chance at a 3 seed. If you want a 3 seed, if you're Texas Tech basketball, you beat Houston on Monday night. If you don't beat Houston, I think then the rest of the way from here, your opportunity, because Kansas isn't going to give you as much as they've given you in the past. Colorado and Arizona State are not going to give you anything in closing out against them. And then whatever happens in the Big 12 tournament, it's been proven that the committee no longer cares about postseason tournaments in regards to moving teams around, seeding or otherwise. That unless a team that's out of the tournament wins their conference tournament, they just don't care. So this is kind of it for Texas Tech. I mean, for men's basketball, this Houston game is kind of your last shot. And I know you're going, well, what about Kansas? What about winning at Kansas? Yeah, but it's not going to give you the big bump that if you don't get the Houston win, you can't just make up for that by going and getting the Kansas win. So you want the 3 seed, you can get it. Houston is the number 1, 2 seed probably right now. You can get that, but you got to beat Houston on Monday night. And we assume that Chance McMillan will be back for that game. That I think that coaching staff looked at today and said, would you rather have him not today, but as close to whatever we can get out of him on Monday, or play him today and, not so good money? You got it. They know, they understand the equation. So a 73-51 victory for Texas Tech men's basketball. Fire away your questions and comments. Thoughts on Texas Tech baseball? Where are all the people that were, telling me yesterday that Tech's got no chance and that Tech baseball sucks and that Texas Tech baseball is in this huge decline? And, where are all those people? I told you last night, I'll stand by what we put on Twitter. I'll stand by what we put on social media. This is a good baseball team. The pitching is better than last year. The bullpen is better than last year. The offensive lineup stretches out better than last year. The defense, I think, will, if you want to rank concerns for me right now, really the only concern I have is defense. That's it. You're seeing some of the best pitching you're going to see outside of the top maybe 4 teams in the Big 12 just right off the bat in the first 3 weeks. North Carolina, UC Irvine, and then what you're getting in Las Vegas. I mean, Tim Tadlock's never had a schedule like this. You're going to come out of it when D1 baseball does their first RPI, and we start looking at it. and Texas Tech will go, scrounge around and get some wins. And when they come out with that first RPI around March 17th, I think, is the first week they're going to do that. Some people are going to be shocked at where the Tech strength of schedule is and what their RPI is. You still got to go win games. But this team is a better baseball team than Tech's put on the field, in my opinion, since the 2020 season that was derailed by COVID. And just, we'll never, that goes into the great what if category. What if that team had the ability to finish out the year? Where would it have been? Yeah. I don't want to think about it. Alan, baseball playing these two series now is going to pay off for them in May and June. I think it's going to pay off for them in March and April. That I think you're going to hit Big 12 play much more tested and ready to go than you have over the last several years. Tech will be in prime position for the tournament. And the NCAA baseball tournament is interesting from the standpoint, if you're not a 1 seed in hosting, the 2 and 3 seeds are interchangeable. That's a dugout. That's all it is. It's a dugout. And you're probably a team from a conference like the Big 12, you're probably not going to be able to limp in as a 4 seed. You're either going to be in as a 3 seed or probably not going to be in. So that's the reality of that. So looking way, here we are in February. I love it. Your tiers are top 8 national seed, which means you host regional, super regional, host a regional, and if you got to go on the road on a super regional, deal with that. And then if you're a 2 or a 3 and you're not hosting, 2 and 3 doesn't matter. It's still, I say, the hardest championship to win in NCAA sports is the College Baseball National Championship, College Baseball World Series. That I think is the hardest thing because your team has to be structured 2 different ways. The long term to get a good seed, then you've got to be able to win a 4-team tournament, then you got to win a 2 out of 3, then you got to go back and win a 4-team tournament at the College World Series, then you got to go win a best 2 out of 3 in the finals of the College World Series. It asks you to do vastly different things and be very good at it for long periods of time. What was it? I think I mentioned it early, talking about Cal-Irvine. And I really have been impressed by their plate approach. And there's a little bit of what they do that Tim Tadlock is trying to get this lineup, and Eric Gutierrez and the Texas Tech coaching staff are trying to get the Tech lineup more adept at. Stringing out pitchers. We used to call it valuing the at-bat, but stringing out pitchers, spoiling good pitches, and not trying to murder every single pitch, but just put it into play. Utilize your speed. And that's a real, SoCal kind of thing that we've seen over the years. Long Beach State, the Dirtbags of Long Beach State playing like that. The Gauchos of UCSB. Even, at different times, a UCLA, a USC, back when those teams kind of mattered in baseball, and it's been a while. But that is a California type deal, and a lot of what you're seeing out of them, they're not just going bombs away on Tech pitchers this weekend. They're bleeding you to death with the mosquito bites, and then they get on the base pass and they do a few things. Tadlock has tried to structure this lineup a little bit more like that than the bloop and the blast and the sit around waiting on home runs. Now, you got 2 home runs today, and that's nice. Ain't nothing wrong with that. In the park, it wasn't blowing out. Trust me. It was playing true today. It was about as true as Dan Law is ever going to play with wind and weather and everything else. So you can take a few lessons if you're a Tech fan watching Cal-Irvine, their plate approach, how they've done some things, and it's really disciplined. It's really impressive to watch. And again, I'm glad Tech pitchers are having to deal with that in the first 2 weeks of the season, in the first 3 weeks of the season, then cruising along. And then all of a sudden, that first weekend of Big 12 play, you're like, what the hell is this? All right, get your questions, comments, thoughts in. We got you on Twitter, at Ryan Hyatt Media. We got you on the YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. I know it's an odd time at 6:15 on a Saturday, but we wanted to jump on. We will recap the full series tomorrow with the Diamond Talk for Tech and UC Irvine, and then a huge Monday show leading into Texas Tech and Houston 6:30 on Monday. But yeah, your chance to get in, get your comments in, thoughts, anything else. I'm trying to see total pitches today: 176 for Tech, 191 for UC Irvine. That's nice. Your ball strike percentage was 65.9% for Texas Tech. Anything over 60, you like. 65's getting there. 55% on the ball strike percentage for UC Irvine. I think I'm going to sneeze, but I'm not going to sneeze. Pitching with runners on, 11:24, 10:29 Texas Tech. Somebody on Twitter, I think, had asked about the lineup and where you were seeing TJ Pompey. So what you're seeing right now against this UC pitching staff is some lefty-righty combinations. So you got Thompson up at the top, Bravo, both right-handers, and then Villeneuve, which it should be Villeneuve, but Villeneuve. And then you go lefty Hughes hitting fourth today. Then you come back with the righty Dylan Maxey, good power, your catcher 5. Then Lopez hitting left-handed at 6. Then the righty Pompey. Then another lefty in Kendall Johnson. And then today it was the right-hander Coleman Ryan down at the bottom of the order. That you're doing a little lineup confusion with them. Lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. So, well, okay, if you do that, then, to me, Pompey and Lopez could be either guy. You don't want to go back-to-back right-handers there, so you put Lopez at 6 and Pompey at 7. That's still a salty middle of the order. And remember, Hughes today got his first home run as the DH hitting in the cleanup spot, going 2 for 3. So somebody had mentioned that earlier today on Twitter, and I wanted to get to that aspect of the lineup and what they were doing there. Alan, to keep beating a dead horse. Well, then don't beat the dead horse. But the first 5 games of baseball looked and felt like regional games. The only difference was the cold weather. Yeah. And today wasn't bad. Still wish they'd played a couple of, I don't know. I'll look at yesterday's game and go, how different would that have looked if it was played in a little bit better weather? I mean, this is the first game that I think Tech has played this year where the temps were above 40, like 45 degrees. It's amazing how much better you look and feel when the temps are a little higher. Yesterday, the first baseman for UC Irvine looked like he was about to jack a liquor store. Between the hoodie and the hat and the glasses, and had the mask on and everything else. I get it. It was freaking cold. And that's another thing that we have to factor into the start of the season is they're playing some really good teams and some really crappy weather. Maybe they're a good weather team. I do want to bounce back to basketball real quick and double check in case I missed anything that I wanted to get into. And I think we got into most of it. The 3-point shooting again. If you don't have Anderson today, it was going to be really bad, but they only shot 22. So thank you very much. Yeah, Hawkins with 5 assists today and 1 turnover in 34 minutes, and that's okay. I'd written that down. There, I see it on my notes now. Hawkins quietly with 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Had a really, really nice game for you against a team that'll pressure you, against a team that'll get after you. And I don't think Hawkins is getting enough attention for what he's doing right now for Texas Tech. And he's going to have a big game, and it's going to be interesting to see, what is it going to look like against Houston with JT Toppin out there. We assume he's going to play more than 3 minutes coming up on Monday night. All right, you guys have been awesome. We appreciate you hopping on. Go to the website, check out our column today. The Saturday column with no name, we're still accepting nominations for a name for the column. So by all means, jump in there and, give it a name in the comment section or something. Come up with anything. Want to thank our great sponsors like Domino's, Food City United, and of course, look at that man right there, the official realtor of Raiderland, Kyle Rogers from Remax, who I assume was out at softball doing the PA and being the voice of Rocky Johnson Field. I assume that was the case. And I don't know if Kyle is still with us. I meant to ask if you got an open house or anything this weekend that we need to know about. But you can check him out on his on his Facebook page for Kyle Rogers. Go follow him. Everybody, go over there to Kyle Rogers' page tonight and tell him thanks for being a great guy. Thanks for being an incredibly average golfer. No, he's better than an average golfer. And thanks for being the official realtor of Raiderland. We can't do these broadcasts. We can't do these things without our great sponsors and without a person like Kyle Rogers. This stuff doesn't happen. All right. So go tell him thanks tonight. Even if you're watching on the replay, hit him up on his Facebook page and go tell him thanks. He's pretty much a local rock star. That he's taking time to watch the show. That tells you all you need to know right there. It didn't get much better than that. We'll see you in the morning with 5, not 6. That would be right out. Not 3. That would be too few. 5 things we know a Sunday. And let's see. I know we're talking about live music and Canada. Yeah. Canada, live music, and in Vermont, I think all make appearances in the column tomorrow. You won't miss it. It'll be good stuff. All right, you guys know what to do. Share this. We're going to post it on the website, theraiderland.com, and we will see you tomorrow on the site with our Sunday column at theraiderland.com. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you then.